Look, before any of you say anything, I know. Yes, I am late to the party. Yes, I know everyone else has already given all their thoughts on this. And yes, I am aware that we've all pretty much collectively shrugged our shoulders and agreed this show is pretty meh. I mean, this show is so forgettable that you probably only remembered it existed because this video got recommended to you. I also somewhat believe timing was an issue with this one. It feels like every major show came out at once whilst Kenobi was airing, but unlike Disney Plus, who aired this and Miss Marvel, which is apparently their least watched Marvel show, Netflix and Amazon brought their A-game. The Boys has consistently released banger after banger episode, with each episode building on the last with shocking revelations and surprise twists that show not only how far the show strayed from the source material, but arguably how far it has eclipsed it, unless it messes it all up in the end. Stranger Things returned to its best season since the first, with visuals that actually live up to what Disney Plus promised us when they told us that their shows would look like they had movie budgets. I can only speak for myself when I say that their shows have not lived up to that promise. In fact, they are in this strange limbo where sometimes it's clear as day that a lot of money and talent was pumped into their shows, and other times I'm reminded, oh yes, this is a TV show, not some blockbuster I can watch at the cinema. At least they never veer into CW territory. Not only did Netflix release Stranger Things, which actually had a great antagonist and cool reveals, but they also released The Umbrella Academy Season 3, which really feels like the season where the show knows what it is and what it's about. Then there's also Better Call Saul, which had a great first half to its 6th season. Then throw in whatever other shows that you might be watching, whether they were airing at that time, or it was an old show that you hadn't seen, but had just started watching, and it becomes clear. Obi-Wan Kenobi was airing at a time when mediocrity wasn't going to cut it, and Obi-Wan Kenobi is essentially the definition of mediocre. So why do I, and from what I can tell, most other people think Obi-Wan Kenobi is so mediocre? It's just because it's a show that doesn't need to exist. There's no justification for this show. An intern could have tripped and accidentally deleted this entire show from the timeline, and nothing would change. The movies would work just fine. If you don't have Disney Plus, but are a big fan of the original and prequel trilogies, there's nothing here to seduce you into paying for a subscription. Just go on YouTube, I'm sure you can find the fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, since that's the only moment worth watching. The writing in the show is sloppy, with countless moments where a character says or does something that makes no sense. Like this. Or this.
How old are you?
She's Luke's twin, Obi-Wan. Just remember what his age is and then apply it to her. There's even a moment where a character called Wade dies and is treated as if some great catastrophe has occurred. Who was that guy? Why should I care? Was he shown prior to this moment? I don't know. But I shouldn't be losing sleep trying to work out whether an extra character had any actual importance to the plot. Plus the CGI looked a little bit off in that scene if I'm being honest. However, I will applaud the central narrative of Obi-Wan Kenobi, since I personally think that Obi-Wan going off-world to rescue Leia was an out-of-the-box idea that works. Even if it makes no sense that Reva was able to find a connection between Bail Organa and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker, and then make an even bigger leap in logic by making the assumption that Luke was related to Darth Vader and is his son, but also then never tells Darth Vader that Leia is his daughter, which would get her in his good books so that she could get revenge on him for killing tons of Jedi after spending years killing tons of Jedi herself. Am I getting this correct? Probably not, but neither did the show. This show really suffers from the inclusion of Reva, who I think is the worst character in modern Star Wars. I am aware of the horrible things said online towards the actress, and it is truly terrible for someone to go for that. However, that doesn't mean that I can't criticise her character and her performance. Reva is just really annoying and feels like a distraction from the show that people actually paid to and were looking forward to watching. The performance the actress gives is unfortunately terrible, as she tries her best to act intimidating by alternating between loud shouts and low, quiet whispers.
You can't wait all we want! I want every lowlife and bounty hunter to squeeze him.
Sadly, neither works. It feels like a child doing its best to act scary, which kinda works if you think about Reva's character, but I have a feeling that was not the intention. It's an even more glaring issue when you have Ewan McGregor acting his ass off, reminding us of why he is consistently referred to as the best part of the prequel trilogy, and Hayden Christensen, who's clearly making the most of every second his face is actually on screen. Even the child actress for Leia gives a really good performance, and she's a child for crying out loud. When a child actor's ever good? When you're able to give a good performance despite being in a chase scene that feels like you're watching someone fail all the QTEs in Until Dawn, that's when you know you've given a good performance, and I'd be surprised if the Leia actress doesn't appear in future projects. Unfortunately, I believe Reva sucks due to a combination of poor writing and fatal miscasting. Additionally, the directing was pretty crap for this show. This was actually surprising considering Deborah Chow has directed many episodes of acclaimed shows and there's never been a notable problem before, and yet Obi-Wan Kenobi often looks terrible. I don't know if it's camera placement, especially during fight scenes, as for some reason she puts the camera right above the action, but I don't know. It felt weird to me and my friends felt the same way. Either way, both The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett looked better in terms of directing. If I'm being completely honest, I think I enjoyed both The Mandalorian and Boba Fett more. The Mandalorian is for obvious objective reasons, but Boba Fett did have those two cool Mandalorian-centric episodes, whereas Kenobi had a cool fight sequence and a really crap one too. Obi-Wan Kenobi is a show that exists, and that's pretty much all that needs to be said. Anyway, bye now.